Tēnā koutou e te whare, ko te mihi tuatahi ki tō tātou nei atua, nāna nei ngā mea katoa. Ko te mihi tuarua ki tō tātou kingi Māori, kingi tūheitia po te tau te tuawhitu, pai mārere ki aia me te whānau ka hui ariki. Kia koutou ngā rangatira o te whenua nei, Ngāti ki Tāmaki. Tēnā koutou mō tō mihi, mō tō manaaki i a tātou i tēnei rā. He mihi anō tēnei ki te whānau o Amotai, Ariana, me o koutou tima, tēnā koutou. Ko te mihi whakamutunga kia tātou katoa, kua tai mai nei ki te tautoko ko te kaupapa o Navigating an Economy of Mana, tēnā koutou. Ko waia hau, i te taha o tōku pāpā, ko hukirangi te maunga, ko waiapu te awa, ko hene pare te marae, ko harauta te waka, ko Ngāti Porou te iwi. I te taha o tōku māma, he Ngāti Porou hoki, me Rongowhakāta. Ko puke tapu te maunga, ko te ārai te awa, ko harauta te waka, ko manatuke te marae, ko Rongowhakāta te iwi. Nō reira, he uri a hau, no te tai rāwhiti, tēnā koutou katoa. Ko Michelle Paki, tōku ingoa, ko Maharaia, tōku hoa rangatira, tōku toru aku tamariki, ko Lucas Tegan, ko Parehuia. Nō reira e te whānau, ko tēnei te mihi kia koutou, ko taku honore ki te tū i mua i a koutou, ki te whakawhiti kōrero, whakawhiti whakaro e pā ana ki tēnei kaupapa. Don't worry whānau, my presentation isn't all in te reo. But given we've just had Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori and Mahuru Māori, it's important that we give our pupeha and we make those hononga and connections amongst us all. Before I begin, I want to make a few acknowledgements. First of all, to two wahine toa who have totally inspired and motivated me this morning. So Kiri and Tanya, wahine toa korua, ngā mihi kia korua. Also, Amotai. You just look at the numbers in this book. 1,300 businesses registered, 164 buyers, 435 million in procurement opportunities. Whānau, that deserves a paki, I think. So today I'm just going to share a little bit. There's three kaupapa I want to focus on for my kōrero. A little bit about our journey with Buy Māori Made. I was going to talk about mana, but I'll just touch on that since Kiri so expertly took us through that this morning. And I want to focus on potential in the future for my kōrero today. So, after I read everybody's bios and I saw mine, I was feeling a bit whakamā. But as my bio says, I'm a mama, a wife, a netball coach. Can we go back a slide, please? One more. Yes. Oh, my kids. They want to see my kids. There we go. As my bio says, I enjoy holidays, beaches, raised in Te Tairawhiti, and the moana is a big part of my well-being. I've got three beautiful children on the left. My daughter Tegan is year 2 at Waikato University studying business and marketing. My 9-year-old is our little princess and the boss of the whānau, but her potential is endless and I'm so grateful to be her mother. And my son is currently working at a scaffold as a scaffolder, 23 years old. In the middle, because my bio said, there's my netball team, Taurima, Toku Mapihi Maurea, and that's one of the highlights of my week. And this is 2 weeks ago in Hawaii, where my husband and I went back to celebrate our 10-year wedding anniversary. So I am all about whānau. Like Kiri, I was born and raised in Te Tairawhiti, and like Kiri, we were sent into the kumara gardens to weed. I think my children would be shocked if I showed them the paddock. They would not know what to do with themselves. So I was raised in a whānau environment. I'm close to my marae, and we all pitched in and did what we had to do. Entrepreneurialism is in my whakapapa. My grandfather was the first to trial growing nashi pears on the east coast in Rangitukia. And my whakapapa is also Manuel Jose, a Spanish trader that came and set up the first trading post in the Waiapu. So entrepreneurialism is there, and we all have it, and especially when I talk to our young Māori in business, I'm excited about their potential also. By day, I work for MB, Kānoa Regional Economic and Development Investment Unit, where we invest in regions and try to stimulate growth and productivity. I'm proud that I manage a portfolio of 275 million worth of projects in the Waikato. These range from projects such as the Ruakura Inland Port, the Kopu Marine Precinct in Thames, the Waikato Regional Theatre, and the Pan-Pacific Hub, which is looking fantastic and is just across the road from the Waikato Stadium. For me, though, the most rewarding projects have been those that touch our whānau and people. These are our investments that we've made in marae renovations, Pacific Church renovations, whenua Māori and te ara mahi. But that's not why I'm here today. I'm here today to talk about Buy Māori Made. Can I please have a show of hands? How many Māori businesses do we have in the room today? Awesome. Congratulations, whānau. It is no mean feat to have survived the last 2 years, and the fact that you're still here is a testament to your resilience. So tēnā koutou. Well, for myself, back in 2020, just before lockdown happened, I could see some platforms coming up. There was the Choice platform, I think it was called New Zealand Made back then. And I just thought to myself, well, what would it look like if we had a platform that showcased Māori businesses? I'd actually started trying to do a directory, but was having trouble getting the right website developer to create that for me. So we went to Facebook, and in March 2020 started our Buy Māori Made Facebook group. In fact, if you've got the Facebook app on your phone and you're not a part of our group, I'd love you to look us up. Just look for that symbol there. And what you'll see, I believe, is an economy of mana. And I'm going to tell you why shortly. We grew pretty quickly. We now have over 140,000 members as part of our group. And everywhere I go, I see Māori taonga, products. People, my friends are always saying, hey, I keep smashing my credit card on your page. And I say, awesome, keep going. On our page at any one time, we might have up to 99,000 whānau on the page, having a look at the products and services available. And we are now reaching up to 1 million engagements per month. So that is people commenting, liking, and engaging with our Pākihi Māori. It's awesome to see. Unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of resource to work with, so this is voluntary. Myself and my friend, who I roped in to help me, moderates our page. So it's difficult for me to give some exact numbers. I'd love to be in a position that Amotai is, where they can clearly talk to those numbers. But by my estimation, we probably have over 1,000 whānau or vendors on the page. And what our page has done is created confidence. We're almost seen as a bit of a test market. So some of our Pākihi, a lot of them are actually very shy. They think that people aren't interested in what they have to offer. Then they'll put a post up on the page, and wow, the support and aroha that our community shows for those Pākihi is just amazing. We have had some great results. Some of our Pākihi have secured contracts through our page. I had a call from one of our businesses about a month ago that said there was a buyer from Foodstuffs on our page, and after 45 minutes of putting his post up, he was contacted by that buyer, and his products will now be across all Countdown New World supermarkets. I love getting those phone calls. That's what it's all about for me. We see transmission of mātauranga Māori. So the great thing is we have a whole range of age groups on our page. So our aunties aren't afraid to slap you down if they think you're going down a wrong pathway. And we've had people freely share their knowledge, mātauranga Māori. So that was one area I didn't expect to see those sorts of outcomes. We have a particular focus on supporting our rangatahi and wahine in business. And so when I first started the page, we worked a lot to really pull those businesses and bring them into the light. When we first started the page, one of the tikanga on the page was to give your pepeha. So on the group, you don't actually post as a business, you post as yourself. You give your pepeha, and again, that's where those connections are being made. So when I see someone from Ngāti Porou or Rongowhakāta posting, straight away I'm like, awesome, whānau, and I want to purchase from them. So we set out to really try and get into people's consciousness that if you are looking for products and services, hey, check out what our Pākihi Maori have. There's so much potential on there. At the same time, looking after a community of 140,000, it has its own challenges. The page drives itself in terms of content, so I'm not a social media guru, I leave that for the young ones, but we are looking to partner with a couple of organisations to help us build that content. I just think we're trying to look at those things that are uniquely Māori, and so a big part of our challenge and our mahi as the page grows bigger and bigger is to keep our values and our tikanga at the forefront of our mahi. So when I look at the By Māori Made community and its relationship to an economy of mana, there are a few insights that I'd love to share. Just a little story. Back in 2016, I was studying at AUT, a graduate diploma in economic development, and I'd already been working in this space for quite some time. I had to have a laugh because even my folder is from 2004, Maniapoto Economic Summit. So that's how long I've been kicking around in this space. But 2016, our class got to hear from Dr. Manuka Hinari. And I wrote some notes on my paper, and I had said, an economy of mana as described, well, this was my translation of his words, acknowledges kinship relationships between whānau, hapu and iwi. And that really resonated with me and has stuck with me ever since. And that's exactly the kind of community that we're trying to build here on By Māori Made. Okay. So, next slide, please. As I said, Kitty's already covered this very well for us. What is an economy of mana? What is mana? A couple of terms I was going to talk about today was manaaki and mana motuhake. So when we look at our marae, what are the things that give a marae mana? The ability to manaaki and look after people. And I think that's a theme that's already coming through in all the kōrero that we've heard today. So pepeha, being a tikanga on our page, is something that we like to use to try and enable an economy of mana. Also, how do we obtain mana? As Kitty's already described, through your behaviour and action. So you can obtain mana, it can come down through whakapapa, or you can obtain mana through your actions and aroha to others. But in a Māori economy, it's not the most important thing. And again, we've already heard this morning. It's not always about the pūtea. Some of our businesses, they might not make that profit margin that you might normally expect in the business world, but they have other outcomes they're looking for. Ability to employ whānau, looking after the taiao, all these things we've already talked about today are key components of what an economy of mana looks like. So again, just to reiterate, manaaki, mātauranga Māori, hononga and relationships between whānau, hapu and iwi based on whakapapa and intergenerational thinking are what I believe are some of the features of what an economy of mana looks like. I'm really proud when I look on our page and look at some of the imagery. I see young, old, traditional, contemporary and connections being made. But there's still more to do, whānau. As I said, we've shined a light on all the Pākihi Māori and all the potential that's out there, but we now are seeking to partner with other organisations that can help build capability of those businesses. Next slide, please. And so what are some of the challenges around that? I think our ecosystem is not quite fit for purpose. I see a lot of gaps, particularly around investment readiness or procurement readiness. I would love to see an acceleration on the scaling up of Pākihi Māori to meet new opportunities, particularly in health and housing. When we look at the potential government spend over the next 10 years, Lawrence, into housing and health, if we can scale up our Pākihi to be ready to take on those opportunities, I think that would be hugely transformational for us all. As I said, a lot of our the opportunities are opening up through the work of Amotai and others, but there's still a bit of a gap. A lot of our Pākihi need that capability and understanding around what it means to deliver at scale and at pace. Like many of our businesses in Aotearoa at the moment, our Pākihi are undercapitalised, so a lot of them don't have the capital to expand and to move into those spaces. And like other businesses, skill shortages is a growing issue for a lot of our Pākihi Māori. But if we want to truly transform the space, I think these are the areas we need to focus on. I think Tanya spoke about demand, and I actually think the business community needs to understand that Māori are the future of the New Zealand economy. We are the labour force and we are the innovators. So it's really important that we all get in there and do what we can to accelerate all this awesome potential. Supply diversity, so this little part is about what we're looking to do next. We want more of our whānau accessing the opportunities that Amotai and others are opening up. So for us, we're looking to partner with whānau to help improve systems, planning, and the ability for our Pākihi to shift into the e-commerce environment. I have a vision for an online e-commerce platform that can look at global trade. And we possibly may need to look at establishing Buy Māori Made standards. So we started off with, if you have whakapapa Māori and you're in business, you're on. But our buyers are seeking a bit more than that now. They not only want to know who you are and where you're from, but where you're accessing your supplies, the process that you use to manufacture and create your products. All of these things are what our buyers are wanting to see. So we keep lifting the bar up and up. But for us, we want to make sure we take our whānau with us. Again, not leaving anyone behind. So that is my vision. Our ultimate goal is to be like an Amazon for Māori businesses, to look to set up trade links with other Indigenous whānau in the first instance, but also keeping an eye on open market procurement opportunities. Today we're talking about government procurement. Imagine 5% of open market procurement and what that might look like. So whānau, that's my kōrero for today. Again, if you're not on the page, I'd love you to join us. And I just want to end my kōrero today with a quote from Dr. Maharaja Winiata. When our lives and hearts are attuned to good things, life is clear, the spirit flows freely, everything is possible. Nō reira e te whānau, tēnā koutou katoa.